Okay, so I'm at Barnes & Noble and it's like 5 minutes after 10 and they open at 10 and I'm like socially anxious enough that I don't want to go in and be like one of the first people that go in.
Taking her to the I just get so Mr. Funk Master, yo be that's who made taking her to the I just get so Mr. Funk Master, yo be that's who many you know.
Hey guys, what's up? I haven't done a vlog in forever. To be perfectly honest, I'm like kind of on a booktube hiatus a little bit because I spent a lot of time and effort on this. Oh, my neighbor's pulling in. Go figure. Okay, he didn't pull in next to me. Because right now I'm trying to edit the work in progress that I already have, and that's taking up a lot of my free time, and then I'm barely even reading at that. And I don't know, I'm just being honest. It's been a little bit of a struggle to get myself motivated enough to edit and think of things and upload videos and whatnot. So my content for the next like month and a half at least will probably be a little up and down and shoddy because next month is NaNoWriMo and I want to get my work in progress done, at least my first draft completely done since I started it last year. Which is where I'm going right now. I'm headed to Barnes & Noble because it's really, really hard to get work in progresses done when you have kids. So, he's like watching me. Now we have new neighbors and like one is a total bro, which is totally fine. I have no problem with bros. But he like comes out and he cleans his car for like 3 hours every weekend. And, all right, anyway. So, I'm headed to Barnes & Noble to work on what I already have so I know where to take it in the next month. Which means that November is going to be very busy for me, which means that I might not have as many videos as usual, and it might just be the basics like wrap-ups and hauls, and maybe not even hauls, TBRs, what have you. Okay, so that said, I'm reading 3 books right now. The Notes, which is the BTS alternate universe, but I've stopped that currently, and I'm also reading Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo, which is like weird. Why would I do that? Because I only like one of her books that I've read so far. And also Stephen King's End of Watch, which is the 3rd of the Mr. Mercedes trilogy. So that's where I'm at. I'm going to tell you more about them later when my neighbor's not outside and like actively able to see that I'm filming in my car. And yeah, hopefully Barnes & Noble provides me with the kind of environment that I can get shit done. So that's it. All right, bye. Okay, so I'm at Barnes & Noble and it's like 5 minutes after 10 and they open at 10 and I'm like socially anxious enough that I don't want to go in and be like one of the first people that go in to Barnes & Noble today. So I'm gonna update in my car. If this Jeep parks next to me, I swear to God, I'm having the worst luck when it comes to people looking at me filming in my car today. Okay, so I'm not gonna go into the Notes because unless you give a shit about BTS or know about their AU stuff, feeling like Cindy right now, it won't matter to you. So Ninth House, I'm like 93 pages in, which is about 20% I think, and I like it. The reason I picked it up is because I feel like the people that really like Six of Crows and, well, I like Six of Crows, it's the only one I've liked, that like Leigh Bardugo generally don't really dig Ninth House. So for whatever reason, my brain thinks that because I'm not a fan of the Grisha trilogy and I didn't like Crooked Kingdom, that maybe Ninth House would be for me. And so far, I'll say yeah, I am enjoying it. It's kind of slow paced, not a whole lot is happening. It's a lot of like world building, story building, which is funny because it takes place at Yale and it's about prognostications. It's like rituals, and it's like this little what are they called, I can't remember, but like a group in Yale that does these things that like you're not supposed to do, and it's just, you know. And the main character, Alex Galaxy, she can see ghosts, she can see grays is what they're called, and so she's been like put into this group. I think it's pronounced Leth group. So yeah, she's like learning the ropes and that kind of stuff. 93 pages in, there's still not a whole lot to report on in terms of action, but I'm enjoying it. I'm just taking it like a chapter or two a day at a time, because they're long chapters, which is not something that I'm typically into. But I could hold it up, but I don't have the, that's how far I am. I don't have the cover on because I don't like to keep them on. I have that with me, but I'm probably not going to actually actively read here, but it's just in case I need like a brain break from my own work. Secondarily, I started End of Watch by Stephen King. I put it off for like almost a year. I don't know why, because I really liked the first two. I think that I gave them both 5 stars. They're very Stephen King-y, like lots of trigger warnings. There's suicide. There is language usage that is a little outdated. It's just stuff like that. But we're starting where we kind of left off. Each book has been about the initial murder, massacre, where a guy drove his Mercedes into a crowd waiting for like a job fair and killed a ton of people. And it seems as though in this one, it's coming back full circle, and people that survived the massacre but were injured might be, from what I can tell or what I'm guessing, are the targets in this book. So Bill Hodges, the detective, has started his own little company to like help people and be a detective and all that kind of stuff, because he's a retired detective. And his main partner now isn't a detective. She's got no detective background, but it's his partner. And it doesn't say it on the page, which kind of irritates me, but I'm pretty confident that we would consider his partner Holly to be on the autism spectrum. And I wish he would just come out and like say it, but all of the things that she does and the habits she has and the intelligence, but also the rituals and the inability to be social, all these little cute like clues lead to the idea that she's probably autistic. And as someone that has an autistic kid, like I want to see that rep on the page, not just something that you kind of hint at, you know what I mean? So that's my only complaint about, like, the whole trilogy has been very good. Stephen King is very hit or miss for me, but I'm really enjoying it. I'm probably like 75 pages in, and I just started it yesterday, and as I said, I haven't really had a whole lot of time to read. To be perfectly honest, like, I seem okay, but I've had a really rough week mentally. I'm really struggling, which probably is also why I said what I said about Booktube. Like, it's just not a priority, because when I'm not doing so hot, I don't read, and it just feels like effort. It's more effort. I wish that I was the kind of person when I'm having these times, I like pick up a book to escape, but it doesn't work like that for me. It feels like work, and I don't get into books and yada yada. So I don't want to push things, etc. I'm gonna go in and maybe get a coffee and start doing my work, but that's my update. I'm probably gonna just have this be like a little weekend vlog that won't be too long. So it's been a while. All right, I'll see you guys soon. Are you gonna be crazy behind me the whole time? Yeah, it looks like it. All right, I just want to do a quick wrap up because it is now Tuesday and it was only supposed to be a weekend vlog. And then yesterday got away from me. I read a lot. Come here, buddy. He's gonna try and tickle me and or steal my books. So I just want to see, I wanted to let you guys know where I'm leaving off right now and what my goals are for the rest of the week before the big kids get home from school. So I had been reading The Notes, which is the BTS alternate reality situation. I would like to finish this soon, so this is a goal of mine. It would be really excellent to finish End of Watch by Stephen King. So I'm probably about 50% through. That's across 2 days. Don't move the chair, buddy. You want to sit with me? Guess we're holding this now. Pain in my booty. So halfway through. My predictions earlier were kind of right, and I definitely have some qualms with like Stephen King's storytelling. I put some quotes in my notes, so I can't read them right now because I'm filming on my phone. But God, sometimes he just says the shittiest things about women. And I know that it's supposed to be character thought, but it still drives me nuts. Like one of the quotes that I put, I'm paraphrasing because I'll read, like when I do my wrap up for the month, I'll talk more about it. But he said something about how she used to have a womanly form until she exercised it away. And I was like, what the fuck? Secondarily, they use the N-word quite a lot. One of the characters is incredibly racist and refers to one of the other characters who is a black teenager as the N-word often. And like, you're supposed to hate this character that uses the word, but at this point you already do, and it's just excessive. So know that if you intend to read the Mr. Mercedes trilogy, the like main bad guy is despicable. But I am really liking where it's going. The stakes are very high. There's a lot going on in Bill Hodges, like the main detective's personal life, as well as wanting to like wrap this whole case up. So, and we're only 50% through, so a lot can happen, and it has to do with like a little digital tablet game. There's just a lot going on that draws from the first two books, but also has its own narrative separate from that. So it's very cool. Liking that. I was giving my chair back. Okay, reading that. Ninth House, I'm not much further in. I think I'm on page like 130 something. I'm literally reading a chapter a day because it's a dense story. There's not a lot of action so far, though there are sequences within the writing that is action driven, and those pages fly by, but a lot of the background information about the society that Alex is in, it doesn't drag, it's just very information heavy, so it reads slowly, and thank you buddy for all the markers, and the chapters are very long for what I like, so that's probably 20 to 30 pages a chapter, which is a lot. I prefer to read books with shorter chapters. It just makes me feel more productive, I guess. So I'm not much further in that, so I don't really have much to comment on. But lastly, last month, I think for Contemporary-a-thon, I tried to read Maybe in Another Life by Taylor Jenkins Reid. And I was reading it physically, and it's my girl Lacey's, one of her favorite books. She just did a video ranking Taylor Jenkins Reid. I can never say it when I'm talking fast. Taylor Jenkins Reid books from least favorite to most favorite. And this was not, wait, that's a spoiler. Ignore me. Go to Lacey's channel and find out where this ranked. But I wasn't into it when I was reading it physically. So it's a story told in two storylines. This girl flies back home. Her home is in LA. She was living in New York. She goes out as like a coming home party with her best friend, and post the night out, her life, we follow her in two different directions. One where she went home with her high school boyfriend, and one where she says no and goes home with her best friend. And two very different plot lines are happening, and we trade off chapters in each plot line. I wasn't digging it when I was reading it physically, but the audiobook narrator, whose name I've forgotten, but she does a lot of the Taylor Jenkins Reid audiobooks, and I think she did Far from the Tree by Robin Benway, and I don't know, I think she's done quite a few narrations for audiobooks, and I really just find her voice very easy to listen to. So I picked up the audiobook yesterday, and I listened to it from the start just to see if maybe it was me in my mindset at the time, which is the case, because I'm absolutely loving it. I'm more than halfway through now on the audiobook, just listening to it while I clean and just fold laundry and stuff like that. and I'm actually enjoying it a lot more. I do think that some of the plot points are a little cheesy. I'm not sure where this falls in her like timeline of writing, because some of it feels a little like early writing plot points to get out of your system before you start digging deep into like stunning plot lines, because there's just a lot that happens to this character in both diverting plot lines. Like so much so, like, here's an example that's not really a spoiler, in that like a loose stray dog runs across the street and she manages to save it and instantly fall in love with it and want to keep it, and it's not tagged, so now it's her dog, that kind of thing. Like, that's one of the many things where you're like, so much is happening to this woman that it's a little bit unbelievable. But Taylor Jenkins Reid has a way of writing characters that I think are very relatable, and you care a lot about the characters. And like, I've been texting Lacey while I read it, just because I know how much she loves this book, and I like to talk about books as I'm reading them. And some of the plot I'm like guessing as I go, and obviously she knows what happens at the end, and like, I've been right once so far, but I haven't been wrong at all, so there's still yet to come whether my predictions have all been correct. But I'm really fascinated to see what happens. The interesting thing that you like think about while you're reading this is which plot line would be the better option. Like, what should she have chosen in the end? And so far, I can't say I'm leaning one way or the other. So that's really fascinating. We'll see what happens. So my goal for the rest of the week, it is Tuesday. I do obviously have to finish rereading my own work so that I can prep for NaNoWriMo. But that said, I'd still like to try and finish all 3 of these books got distracted by my neighbor's Halloween stuff, by the end of this week, and make some decent progress into 9th house. So maybe I'll do another weekend vlog. It really depends. I don't think I have a super busy weekend, so it's possible. Well, Finn's got my dumbbells, so I'm gonna close out here. Thanks for sticking around, guys. I know I've been like pretty inconsistent with my content lately, just because life is busy. As you all know, we're all adults here. So thanks for being here, guys. I appreciate you sticking around. Let me know what you guys are reading. Let me know how you're doing. Fall is officially here, at least in my area. Some days it's really cold, and some days it's quite warm. Can you say bye? Say bye to the camera.
Bye-bye.
Like if you like this video, subscribe if you are new here and would like to see more content from me. I hope to see you in my next videos. You can find me on Goodreads, Instagram, and Twitter. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next one, guys.